Okay, so I didn't have to change that much. We're actually pretty close. Just show you what mine came out to. I believe my strength was 0.73 and I lowered my frequency just a little bit. Or actually raised my frequency up. So 0.073 for my strength and 0.03 for my frequency. And again, this is all relative to how big your object is. If you're working with a jellyfish that's, 100 units wide, then this gravity is going to, the numbers will actually be whole numbers opposed down to decimals. Okay, so at the bottom here, you can see that the gravity really starts to affect it over time. Uh, Not to worry about that because our tentacle is going to be lit. And whatever's lit is what we're going to use in After Effects to mask out what's not lit. So there'll be an omni light right here and it'll emit out to a certain distance, say right around here. Once we hit this distance, they'll turn black. And at that point, they'll be omitted from our animation. Okay? So what I like to do is go into our particle flow at this point, and I'm just going to kill them off when I know they're well outside the light. Particle view. Position this up, get some room. Alright, we have to bring in a delete. We'll put this underneath shape. And under delete, we're going to go by particle age. And we're going to set its lifespan. It looks like, I'll push this aside, find out here. It looks like right there is okay. I'm just going to up 40, from 48, we're going to set this to 70, just to be 100% sure that they make it outside of our light. Okay. And the reason why we're going to be using a light is gravity is always going to affect these vertices differently, especially at the end is where you notice it. So it looks like we get a lot of breakage at the end there. When we use the light, we'll have no breakage. And also, as an object gets further away, well, it's always going to look like the tentacles are getting longer and shorter. If we use an omni-light, which is a perfect sphere, then no matter how far the particles get stretched, unless they get shot up in towards the jellyfish, they're not going to get longer or shorter. Okay, so that system looks like it works for us. We're going to go ahead and start duplicating around our emitter here. We're going to use 8 of them. So Control C to clone this object. Or Control V, sorry. We're going to set it to copy, call it 2. And under its parameters, we'll go back to frame 1 to make sure that we can change its face. And we're going to just change its face around until we get somewhere where we want. So it looks like right here it'll be fine. Alright, we'll do the same thing again. Control V, set this to 3, and we'll change this to a different face. Alright, that's fine. And one more time. We'll put one on this side. Okay, so now we have to find points in between the two. So we'll clone that guy. We'll up his vertices to about, see if we can find that right here. And clone this one. Try and split this up in between them. The reason why I did it by 4 because it was easier for me to eyeball this into 4s and into 8s. So once I divide it into 4, then I'll divide that in half. Looks like, there we go. Clone this one. These ones are a little bit too close. Looks like there is going to be our best bet. And we'll clone this one. Alright. So we got one that's a little bit too close. In fact, if we want, we could just delete it. Those seem to be evened out pretty good. I should just leave well enough alone here. This one is fine. So when we're out this far away, you're not going to really be able to tell that there's only 7 tentacles opposed to 8, so I don't think it's going to matter. Alright, so at this point we need to duplicate all our emitters and get them applied to all these other objects here. So we're going to go into our particle view. I'm going to select event 1, and we're going to move it aside. And this one's going to be set to instance. So at at some point when I decide to change the amount of that are living, then or how long they live or the speed, it will adjust to all particles. The only thing that we're going to set to not be an instance is our shape object, or position object, sorry. So we're going to right click, we're going to make unique, and instead of sphere 1, we're going to use sphere 2. And then remove sphere 6. Remove that, add sphere 2. Alright, I think we have to name these guys. Alright, so select them all, tools, rename objects, and call these tentacle underscore. And just set it to numbers, so after the underscore it'll apply an increment to the number. Hit rename. So our first one is 0. So we'll just come up here, right click, rename tentacle 0. Delete this one. Duplicate this across. Alright, so I know this is going to be tentacle 1 on this side. So we'll go to position object, make sure this is not unique. And then we'll remove that one and add this emitter. And to get that turned on, we'll just come up here and we'll connect, click and drag from there to here, and now we have another tentacle. Both are connected. Alright, so I'll do this one more time and I'll pause the video and get them all set up. So the process is to click on your tentacle. We'll actually rename this one. This is tentacle 01. We'll click on the node, hold shift so you get the plus by the arrow. We'll drag it across, make sure it's an instance, hit OK. We'll go down to position object. We're going to remove that tentacle or that sphere. Just move across here. Set my space up a little bit. Click add, and we're going to grab the next tentacle, which is this one. Okay, looks like we have a disconnect here. Tentacle 1, position object. This should be this one. Okay, we don't have it set to unique yet, so we'll just remove this one. So under tentacle 3, or I guess 2, under position object, we're just going to make this unique. And then we'll remove this one and then add to the third one. So once that's set up, we need to connect it. So just click over here by the render one, just click and drag. We'll drag it out to our other node there. Now you got 3 tentacles. Okay, so at this point I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to connect up the rest of our tentacles here, and I'm also going to assign them each to their own color. So this second one here, I'm going to make that unique, make this one unique. I'm just going to set this to a different color just so we can see what's going on between the 3. So this one's going to be green. Okay, so I'll be right back.